Hey guys, welcome to the Outdoor Outcast, and this video is something new. If you clicked on it, you're checking in something new. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a video after every trip I do and cover the gear I use. I know gear is a big discussion. Personally, I love gear talk, so I'm going to get it out there. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll answer them, and let's have a discussion in the comment section. Alright, so first I went to San Bernardino Peak. We went, camped up at 90-something thousand feet, and it was windy, it rained in the middle of the night. We didn't expect that. Sleet. Just, if you guys watch the video, I'll link the video down below, and you guys get to see the trip video. So what I'm going to cover first is my clothes for the trip. My clothes selection worked pretty good. I was happy with my clothes selection. So what I wore pretty much the whole time, some Columbia pants. They are the Omni UV. These things got wet. They dried out real quick. Awesome. On top, where did it go? Sorry. Right here. So during the whole time of the trip, I was wearing this right here. This is an icebreaker merino wool shirt that I picked up at a garage sale. I was wearing this the whole trip, and it was awesome. This thing kept me warm, kept the sweat off me, kept me dry. Everything was great with this, except for I actually poked a hole in right here where I was pulling down to cover my butt crack, and my thumb popped through. On top of that, while I was hiking, this is just a simple athletic wear shirt that I picked up from Walmart. S-Star, I don't even know the brand. So those are the top I was wearing. I was pretty much wearing that top, that merino top, the whole trip, and that athletic wear shirt. So after that was right here, when it got cold, started getting windy, I threw this under my jacket. This is my Smart Wool top. This thing rocked. This was awesome. I threw it under my jacket. I was just covering my jacket first, and then I threw this on under it. Made a big difference. This stuff got wet. When I was sleeping in my bivvy, I sleep like this. Condensation was blowing right on my arms. Didn't have a problem. Dried out. Awesome. Right here, these were my long johns for the night. These are super cheap. You can see through them, synthetic. I have no idea where I picked them up. Super light. These, I wish I brought my Smart Wool bottoms. These helped a lot. I'm super glad I brought them, but I wish I had the upgrade because that foul weather we hit. But these got wet too. They dried out. I was super stoked about that. Beanie. This is the beanie I was wearing. This is from the Super Bowl, Carolina Panthers versus the Broncos. My dad was fortunate enough to get tickets from his work, and he went and he picked this up for me. It's not nothing special. It's got a cool story behind it, but the thing I like about it is it's nice and stretchy, and I have tighter fleece beanies that cover my head. I just can't sleep in them. It drives my head crazy. It's kind of weird, but this right here, this is a just triangle cotton thing. I was wrapping it around my neck. I don't have a buff, so this kind of helped with that. I also had a black bandana. It wasn't in here, but I also had that too. What I brought along was just a pair of athletic shorts. Brand not important, but I brought them, never even used them, so it's unfortunately weight I didn't need. These are my merino wool socks. These are the Kirkland brand. They come in a pack. Usually I'm rocking sock liners, and on the hike up I actually got blisters in these for the first time in my sock liners, which was really weird. So what I did is I switched out into my other socks, which are down in the truck, so I don't have them. But merino wool ones, switched them out, never wore them again, just kept the other ones on. The Superstar for keeping me warm. was my Thermoball North Face jacket. Just threw this over me. This thing got, I didn't have a shell or anything, so this was getting the brunt of the wind and in the rain, and this thing freaking kept me warm. It's dry, just pulled it out of the pack. This thing was awesome. This coupled with that smart wool top I had, and then that athletic and that other smart wool top, freaking fantastic. And I was overheating in my bivvy. All right, so that pretty much covers clothes. I was hiking in this, my Columbia hat, just rocking my Casio watch. That's all the stuff that was like on my body that you could kind of count as clothes. Oh, fleece gloves, that's it. Pair of fleece gloves. All right, right here, Sawyer Mini Gravity Setup. I didn't even use this on the trip. I got to bum water off my buddies, which was super awesome. Thanks, guys. I didn't even have to bust this out. They came in and filtered my water for me. I was watching camp, blah, blah, blah. All right, my cook kit. So this is my Tokes 850 mil pot. Bummer, I burnt a hole in it. Added some character. So in here, all I got, Bic lighter, BRS titanium stove, bandana with a fuel cartridge in there, a small canister, and that's it. That's all that's in there. Going down in my pack, this is my Hammock Gear 20-degree overquilt. This thing was awesome. It got wet in my bivvy and held strong. It was awesome. You can still feel, I mean, you can't feel it, but it's still wet right now, so I gotta go hang this out so it doesn't get smelly. On the very bottom here, I have my bivvy poles, and I was lazy on the peak and I didn't even want to roll up my bivvy. So this is the Outdoor Research Alpine Bivvy. This thing was great. It held up pretty awesome. Only complaint with it is the seams. The seams were leaking, and which sucked. And it was not condensation, I know for sure, because I saw little driplets all up and down on those seams, and it was just all around in my front. Unfortunate. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if I'm going to take it back. But other than that, this thing was awesome. And unfortunately, too, I left this, so the mouth here, the zipper open probably maybe that much. Rain actually got in there, got my quilt wet. That's how my quilt was wet, also from the leaky seam seal. But other than that, this thing was awesome, and I actually have something inside of there still. Like I said, this video is straight. I got home an hour ago, reviewed the footage, and that was it. So what I brought with me is a 4.7's Preon 2. Never used it. It was a backup light. Here I have, this was my main light. This is my black diamond headlamp that I found on the trail, actually. Not on this trip, but a previous trip. And then this was a cotton bandana, which has a bunch of stuff still in it. And this was wrapped around my neck too, and like this, and it helped out. So, what I hiked up with, two smart water bottles full of Gatorade. So I just poured the Gatorade into these because I like the form factor of these guys, and a Platy 3-liter zip on top, hydration bladder that was full of water, which worked out really, really well. Sleeping pad. This is a old Thermarest trail light. This thing was awesome. I got in the bivvy when I set it up. It was a little cold, but as I laid on it, the air inside got warmed. This thing isn't insulated, but it worked really well. Right here, this is a car reflector windshield, and this thing is just all sorts of fun and goodies. What I did at night is I threw this under the bivvy, so this kind of worked as like the ground cloth. And because I sleep like this, the front of the bivvy is where my arms went, so this kept my arms warm at night while the pad was under me. And this I also used as a windbreak when I was cooking and stuff like that. This was just all around good call to bring. Super light, worth it to bring. In here, I got my bear bag line, Zing It. It's like, was 50 feet when I bought it, and an Eno carabiner. Never used it. We weren't worried about the bears. So now let's move on to food. So what I got in here, I had 2 bread rolls in there. I ate 2 Mountain Houses, a beef stroganoff for breakfast and a chili mac for dinner. I brought, this is all like got gross Mountain House liquid on it. I brought 4 of these tuna, which are all wet and disgusting, and they smell great. So I brought 4 of those. I ate one with one of the rolls, and I threw one of the rolls in for dinner. That was supposed to be my lunch, but we never really stopped and ate lunch. Mio Energy, I never used this one at all, but I also brought another Mio, which was the Mio electrolyte, which I do like this at my meals because I got to force to drink. And down on the bottom, I brought 1 Laurel bar. Didn't even eat it. Wasn't interested. That's not my favorite flavor. And as a spare, I brought an extra Mountain House, just because. So for snacks, big old thing of beef jerky, super yummy on the trail. Right here, this was a bag of Chex Mix. This was full to the brim, so that's how much I ate for a weekend of backpacking. Great stuff on the trail. You get that salt. This is actually, so Sunkist makes some of my favorite trail mix. It's expensive, but it's good. And I was like, heck, I'm gonna try another. It's the same brand, but it's a different flavor. And this one, it's got a spicy kick to it, which I was not a fan of on the trail, which was a shame, but now I know not to get it again. So I won't be ever getting that again. And that about does it for food. Right here, this is my dry bag. This is what I put, this is like everything. This is wet wipes. I used, I forgot toilet paper, so I just grabbed a bunch of napkins from my truck, and that's what I used as toilet paper too. And I had some Cliff Bar shot blocks. Here's some left. I brought 2. Didn't even finish them. These are really good on the trail instead of those gross cube shots. Those are just gross. My emergency fire kit and survival kit, pretty much. First aid kit. This actually did come in handy when I had some blisters. There's some on my heels, so this came in handy. We used pretty much all on moleskin, and but did the job. I'm glad I had it. Some more napkin, and this is one of the broken feet to my GoPro tripod that broke, which kind of sucks, but that's what you get for buying cheap. And on the bottom there, I have 3 extra Duracell batteries. What I was filming on is my GoPro Hero 3 White for the whole trip with the Ceramonic microphone, which works great. That's pretty much everything inside of the pack. Yeah, what was attached to the pack? So right here in this pocket, I always carry a little REI thermometer. I always forget I have it, so I don't use it that often, which is kind of sucky. And usually right here, I carry my DeLorme InReach, which was great. I checked the weather on it, so for this morning, and it was cool. I could text my parents, and of course the SOS feature, which this thing is solid. That's all I gotta say about that. And right here on my hip, if you guys want to check it out, I have a video of this guy batoning. This is the first trip I brought it on. This is how I carry it. Just leave it on my pack the whole time. And there's the Osprey, or not, Platypus 3 liter. So, in the pack, Granite Gear Crown VC60. This thing was awesome, super comfortable. Love this pack. and it got rained on, it dried out quick, or if it never even got wet. So what I did is it started raining, and Steve, solo to a hiker, his shelter was right next to mine, so I just threw my boots and stuff right next to him. That reminds me, I don't have boots. I didn't bring my boots upstairs in my room, and I didn't bring my trekking poles. Other than that, that's everything I brought, guys. The weight was around 30, maybe 35 at the very heaviest. Hiking up, I had 2 liters of Gatorade, 3 liters of water. That goes to show you. And hiked down with 2 liters in my platypus on my back. Ran out of water on the way down, but it was nice and cool, so I wasn't too worried, and I had an extra bottle in the car, which was great. But that's everything I had. If you guys want to know some specifics about the gear, let me know. I know this was quick, but I'm going to try something new starting out. Let's start some gear talk. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys like. All right, so Alex is out. Like if you like, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.